right. Welcome. My name is Pedro. I am the physical health coach here at Vita. But you might be wondering, what is Vita? Vita is basically an online clinic helping you retrain your body and your mind to overcome back pain. Okay. And in today's session, I want to talk about the three exercises for strength that you probably never heard of. Now, if you ever felt stuck trying to relieve your back pain, you are not alone. Most people just try to stretch their way out of pain. When sometimes what you actually need is strength and stability. So when your body don't feel safe, it will tighten up some muscles to make you feel safe. And that tightness, often enough, in this case, for example, um, can't be resolved with stretch, okay? Because the root problem, it's not the lack of flexibility, is because your brain deems certain positions and exercises as unsafe, okay? Um, all right, cool. So, when your lower back hurts, it's often enough not your back's fault. It's the muscles around your hips, for example, like your glutes or the lateral stabilizers that are weak or not firing properly. When your hips are weak, okay, it will stop stabilizing your spine. Your back muscles now they have to overwork because the foundation, which is your hips, can't work as they should. And now these overworked muscles on your back start sending signals to your brain saying this unsafe. I am overworking here. Send a signal which is pain, and that pain is a signal telling you to stop. Okay, and that pain becomes a loop. Okay, so unstable and weak hips makes your lower back work harder. Working harder makes the muscles overworked, and that causes more pain. Make sense? Okay. Now, you've been told to rest or stretch or just take it easy. Yeah? Well, often enough, that can create a bigger problem because if you avoid movement because it's hurting, okay, it will stop you basically stop moving with confidence. Okay, so you're now scared to move, you're scared to make certain movements that could cause you more back pain. You lose strength. If you don't use it, you lose it. And that goes for anything. If you're seated all day working or watching TV, your body will get used to that position, to that thing that you're doing. And every time you go and try to pick something up or lift something heavy or do something weird, your body or your brain's like, this is unsafe. The pain is just a signal from your brain because it thinks that it's unsafe. Okay? And then once you start moving for a while, your body forgets how to stabilize. Again, if you don't use it, you lose it, and that's when things go into spiral. You get more pain and stiffness, and then you avoid activities. You feel fragile, and then you try stuff. Some of them work, okay, but then the pain comes back. Okay, why the pain comes back? Because you haven't addressed the root cause. Often enough is strength and stabilization. Okay, so today I want to talk about the three exercises to really strengthen and stabilize your hips. Okay, so here are the three of them: standing hip hikes, okay, hip airplanes, and standing wall hinge knee press. I know that these names don't make any sense to you, so that's why I want to show you. All right, so let's start with standing hip hikes. So after I show you these movements, I'm going to give you a structure, okay? A certain amount of reps or sets that you can do a few times a week to strengthen your hips, and then you let me know if your lower back improved. Okay? So let's start with hip hikes. The goal here, okay, so I'm gonna stand. Okay, the hip hikes, you are basically strengthening the glutes max, okay, right here on the outside, helps you stabilize your hips, okay, and the QL, okay, so this is your pelvis, this is your spine. The two muscles here, yeah, connecting your rib to your pelvis. These are the QL muscles. When your hips are not stable enough, these QL muscles, they work extra hard. They tense up, they get tight. What a lot of people do, they try to stretch it, okay? Again, stretching, you are not strengthening, yeah? You're only doubling down on the signal from your brain saying that it's unsafe. So let's strengthen your QL and your glute max. In my case, I've got a block, but you can use anything to get you off the ground. So if you've got a step on your house, you can use a step, okay? All right, so I'm gonna place it right here. You don't need to see my head for this. I'm gonna step on it. Now, okay, notice that my feet are in line. I'm gonna keep my knees straight, locked out. I'm gonna lower my hips. I am touching the floor, and I'm gonna lift really high. I'm gonna lower and lift. Notice that I'm moving my pelvis here. Okay, so this is in line. I'm gonna lower, I'm gonna lift. Lower, lift. Yeah? Basically, keeping both legs straight. You're gonna lift one up and lower. That's it. This way, you can really strengthen your QL and the glute max. This is a great strengthening exercise if you've got back pain, okay? I'm gonna tell you about the reps later, okay? So you do both sides. Lower, lift. Lower, lift. Lower, lift, okay? Keep your knee straight. A lot of my clients in the beginning, they struggle to move the hips without bending the knee. So pay attention to that. Second exercise, hip airplane. This is a beautiful exercise. Okay, so when it comes to hip stabilization, we often do have some strength at the front and back because that's how we walk, okay? Now, laterally speaking, we don't go sideways too much. We don't strengthen our stabilizers here, the glute max. So the hip hikes are beautiful to really strengthen your hips. There are more than 16 muscles connecting the femur the femur to the pelvis, okay? 16 muscles surrounding it. If you are only moving forward and back, okay, you are only strengthening half of these muscles. If you live your life only strengthening half of these muscles, guess what happens? Some muscles become stronger, some muscles become weaker. And this is when the stabilization comes in. You've got to strengthen the side ones too, okay? So let me show you. Here we go. Place your hands on a surface, okay? The goal is to keep your foot underneath your hips, okay? Try to sink your head in between your shoulders, and you're gonna make a T with your body, all right? Leg extended. Now, from here, my belly button is pointing towards the floor. I'm gonna open up, my belly button is pointing towards the camera. See, my hips are open, and I'm gonna close all the way down, belly button towards the floor. Open up, belly button pointing towards the wall. Down, up, down, up. Make sense? Let me change legs. Here. Okay, now make sure that on this position, your foot is underneath your hips. Okay? Knees slightly bent. Open up, close. Open up, close. Okay? Can you see it? Let me see if you can see it from behind. Okay? Open up, close. Open up, close. Okay? Hip airplanes. Beautiful exercise, especially if you are experiencing lower back pain right now. Okay, so let's move on to the third. Now, this is specifically amazing for the stabilizers, the outside of your glute, okay? For this one, I'm going to be standing here. So you have to be near a surface. Lift up just a little. Okay, so one foot exactly under your hips. One knee onto the wall, okay? I want you to shift your weight to the outside of your foot, okay? So you can engage the outside of your leg, okay? Here, pushing both knees out, okay? So you're now creating tension, pushing them out. From here, you're gonna hinge your hips back and up, okay? I'm gonna show you from the side view, up. All right, let me change. Here. Lower just a little. Okay, here. I'm driving both knees out. My weight is on the outside of my foot. From here, while I'm putting pressure on my knees, pushing it out, I'm going to hinge my hips back. I'm going to lower my upper body, and then we're going to extend all the way up. Make sense? Let me see from a distance. This is my house. Hope you don't mind. Okay, here, you can have your hands here or support. Pushing your hips back, lowering the upper body, and extend. Push up. Okay? Again, here. Drive both knees out. This one is the only point of contact. You're going to be hinging back, up, back, and up. Okay? So, these are the 3 exercises you probably never heard of that are just amazing for your hip stabilization. Again, often enough, the answer is not stretching, but strengthening. Because when you strengthen your hips, when you build a strong stabilizers, your brain thinks it's safe to move again. Then your spine, this is your spine, this is your pelvis. If it's unsafe, okay, the muscles and the structure above the pelvis have to work extra hard to get the stability that your pelvis should be giving, okay? So strengthen, for most of you, is the answer for your back pain. When it comes to structure, try to do, all right, here we go. 12 to 15 reps on each of these exercises, okay? Try to go for 3 sets. You just go over them. Let me quickly show you here. Really fast, okay? So exercise 1, hip hikes. Here, 15 reps. Down, up, down, up, down, up. 15 on the left, and then 15 on the right. Can you notice my knee height? It's moving. So 15 each side, and then we're going to move on to the airplanes. 15 on the left, 15 on the right. And then 15 of these. Boom. 15 each side. Okay? And these are the exercises. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this was valuable. Try them out. Comment down below. Did you find any relief? You should feel a big burning sensation, okay? On the outside of your hips and on the inside of your thighs, okay? Give them a try. Let me know how you go. And I hope you like this. See ya.